Aw, shit. Here we go again. Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh, and we have an incredible show for you today. As always, a lot of things going on out there in the nerdy world. A lot of news, a lot of updates, rumors. Last night, CinemaCon, James Gunn, Peter Safran, the cast of the Superman's movie. They were out there talking about the movies, showed some footage for the film, and we're going to talk about it. They also may have inadvertently confirmed that some more of those leaks were real. You know, the leaks that everybody's freaking out about, the leaks that everybody's mad at, the leaks might be real. We'll get into it. We'll talk about it. Also want to talk about Daredevil Born Again. Man, I think I can comfortably say I don't like this show. I've reached this point where, and I know it might seem crazy, and I know we're probably gonna have a big argument about it because a lot of you guys probably love the show or whatever. We'll get into it, but I am kind of at a point where even if the last two episodes are phenomenal, there is no way I can give this show overall a high score. And I cannot imagine sitting back after the completion of this season and legitimately thinking as a fan that they did a good job, which is so shocking to me, dude. Like that, I don't want to just gloss over this. I'm trying to walk this line here because I don't want to be like toxic about it. Sometimes when I get really hung up on something or I decide I don't like a thing, man, I can be real shitty about it and be like, here's all the things I don't like, right? So I don't want to do that with Daredevil, but I also, like, come on, man. Like, wait, this is crazy. Like, I cannot believe this happened this way, frankly, for me. But we'll get into it. I'll give you my reasoning, and then we'll have a discussion about it. So there is that. I also want to discuss the future of Star Wars a little bit. You know, yesterday I dropped a very spoiler-filled video. I had one of my best and oldest sources reach out to me and give me a ton of information about Star Wars. I put a video out. Man, this video it's got so much in it. It's got an insane amount of leaked information. Probably too much. Most normal content creators would get that information and be like, how do I piecemeal this out into like 4 different videos at least? I was like, nah, fuck that. Boom. Everything in one video. Not everything, but most of it. But I'm not going to talk. I don't want to talk about like spoilers on today's stream, but there's an aspect of what I went into yesterday in the video that I do think is worthy of discussing today. It's all within the context of Star Wars, the future, what's going on with Kathleen Kennedy, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, all of that. So I did want to speak to that a little bit and perhaps even touch on what I've heard about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Because, man, what is that movie, man? So that's kind of the plan for today. I'll be completely honest with you. It is a lighter news day. I expected a little bit more from Warner Brothers panel last night. Maybe some crazy news will break today while we're on the stream. So we'll see. Might be a little bit of a shorter stream, but I definitely wanted to at least get into these topics with you today. Talk about the Superman situation, the Star Wars situation, Daredevil Born Again. As far as show notes are concerned, tonight at 7:30, we will be doing a Nerd Avengers stream. So these are our members only stream. We do these every Wednesday. If you're a member here or if you're a member on Twitch, we still do it for the Twitch people over there. Then come on by tonight at 7:30. We're going to play Marvel Rivals, and I'll play some games with y'all, you know, but I'm too good at the game, so it's not fun when I play. Everybody else is like, oh, man, Josh, he's the best. So what we'll do instead is I will commentate. I will do some casting for some of the games when you guys play each other in Marvel Rivals. And that's cool. I'm excited for that. So I'll see you guys tonight at 7:30 for that. Probably no main channel video today. But there's a big Doctor Doom, Kang. I got a big one cooking. Probably gonna drop tomorrow. That'll put some things into context for you as far as what happened with Doom and Kang. A lot of details came out about that. And it'll shock you. It shocked me, and I think it also makes certain things make more sense. Mostly the fact that you're probably going to get a ton more Doctor Doom. RDJ Doctor Doom might be here to stay, but that'll be in a video tomorrow. Okay, so let's get into it. And you know what? Maybe we should start. Let's just start nice and chill, nice and easy. Let's talk about Daredevil Born Again. Do me a favor. If you're watching live, throw a 1 into the chat. Did you watch the latest episode of Daredevil Born Again? Just want to get an idea of that. And in fact, I'll go to the polls. I didn't go to the polls last night. Last night's stream, by the way, super funny. I really didn't like the episode, and the stream itself took a bad turn because I could not hide my feelings about it, but it ended up being a pretty funny stream, if you know what I'm saying. So it was pretty entertaining. So let's go to the polls here and see what you guys think. What did you think of the latest Born Again episode? And we'll say, loved it, liked it, meh, hated it. Certainly want to get an idea of where the community is at with it. So go ahead, check out that poll. I will get into my thoughts here. And I just have to be brutally honest, man. You know, I don't really have a good way to sort of tiptoe around this or whatnot. But to me, it was pretty off-putting when in the first scene you have Fisk and that dude, and there's just some obvious ADR, which means additional dialogue recording. So oftentimes when you're editing a film, you'll be like, oh man, I wish this character would have said this here. It would have helped the flow of the scene a little bit better. You can do it, what they call additional dialogue recording. Bring that actor back, put him on a soundstage, and they say it, and then you edit it in. Sometimes it's less noticeable than other times. And at the beginning of this episode of Daredevil Born Again, the ADR for me was so distracting. And unfortunately, like, it felt like a gut punch. Because I thought we were over it. I thought we were past patchworking the old version of the show together with the new episodes. I thought this was going to be like the first truly new episode. And it's a Frankenstein episode, you know? And immediately that kind of set me off. But beyond that, I would argue that the writing and pacing and the character stuff throughout this entire episode is completely unbalanced, super whack. There's characters that have barely been in the show making huge character moments that are supposed to be impactful, and you can kind of feel that like maybe that would have worked in the slow burn version of the original show, but it's just simply not working right now. This is to me incredibly underwhelming. And really frustrating, you know, really frustrating. Muse himself, hate him. The actor himself did a good job. I don't think this is on the actor, but the way Muse is used in the show is awful. Absolutely awful. Barely in it at all. Like slow burn, like background thing, and then all of a sudden the most important thing in the world in 2 episodes, Matt's in his lair, then he's back in the lair after not knowing shit about the lair. Man, when he felt that painting after feeling his girl's face and shit, I burst out laughing. Absolutely ridiculous. Like Looney Tune level, fucking ridiculous. So I mean, again, I'm trying not to go too hard on it, but like, man, I'm about as disappointed as you can fucking be, and that's crazy because the show, like, even being fair to the show, you could say it's mid, right? It's had some incredible episodes. For the most part, it feels unfulfilled. You know what the show really feels like to me? This feels like an abridged version of the shitty show they made in the first place, which is unfortunate because I think. And I was actually trying to figure this out, so I'd love some feedback here, right? I can't decide whether or not it was Marvel that really leaned into the creative overhaul and kind of like tried to use it as a marketing campaign, or did fans and even content creators like myself, did we look at the creative overhaul and add too much hype into it? Did we mistakenly sell it as something that it was not? Because either way, whichever way happened, it has led to a pretty unfulfilling circumstance. Because this is the old show, 7 fucking episodes of the old show, and that's the abridged version. This thing was supposed to be 18 episodes. Oh my god. Yeah, it's dude, it's tough because I almost feel programmed to let it go. You know, being a Marvel fan is so wild, and we're kind of constantly thinking about the next thing and getting hyped up for the next thing. almost to the detriment of the current thing. It almost feels like whatever's currently coming out from Marvel really isn't even in the story. Perhaps that'll change when we get into Avengers and maybe Fantastic Four. But this, the whole experience of being a fan right now is super weird. Like, I don't even know how mad I should be about this. There's a part of me that thinks I should be fucking furious about this. Like, flipping tables, being super toxic online, you know, calling for Kevin Feige to step down. Like, dude, there's a part of me that truly believes that, I mean, think about it this way. I'll say it this way. We're 4 months into the year. Just started the 4th month, so kind of like 3 months into the year, okay? And we have been delivered one of the worst fucking MCU movies ever in Brave New World. I know not all of you agree, but you're wrong. It is shit. And then this show, which is the most unfulfilled Daredevil season I've ever seen, and I've spent fucking hours, basically, living in the world of a mid-ass Daredevil show that I just really don't, I just don't, So, I mean, I don't know, brother. I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's an awkward thing for me because, like, I don't want to just get super toxic, and I do think there's a lot of good stuff on the way, but from where I'm standing right now as a Marvel fan, like, dude, y'all are so far away from what you used to be. You're so far away from greatness, and this Daredevil show really hurts, man. Like, this shit hurts. I really don't like this show, and I cannot believe I got so excited for it, and I feel bad for trying to hype people up about it. I mean, think about how far removed from the optimal fan experience this is. I'm sitting here literally feeling shitty about making videos and talking about it on stream, trying to get people hyped up, saying like, nah, this is the one, like, Marvel's gonna figure it out here. And what did they do? The same bullshit they've been doing for years. They fucking hack jobbed this shit. They figured out the cheapest and honestly most disingenuous way to sell this thing. The marketing for Marvel is, it's fucking things up because it's so far removed from the quality that the product has that it's like this boy that cries wolf situation where, like, I don't know that I can even believe the marketing next time they're like, oh, well, you know, this is the really good one, or we fixed this thing, etc., etc. Like, the amount of goodwill that I have left for the MCU is diminishing by the day. So I don't know, man. I mean, there's you know, to be fair, there's another side of me that's like, dude, whatever. Like, we know what it is. This thing came out from a fucked up time at Marvel. They tried to change it. They basically just, I mean, be real with you, I think they just removed all the super overtly political shit. I think the priority was not as much to make the show a lot better, but to make the show less offensive to a large group of fans. And, like, again, like, I understand that philosophy, but just cancel the whole fucking thing and remake it. Like, this is so weird. This, like, in-between world. Like, Captain America Brave New World is barely a movie. It is this skeleton, zero meat on the bone, like, paint by numbers, safe as fuck. You feel like you're in a reality show with Sam rather than following Sam on a. It's one of the worst experiences I've had in the movie. It is the opposite of art. It is all the shit that all the anti-AI people claim is coming. It's already here. It's total slop, like, horrible. And I mean, Daredevil is not that. There is some, like, genuine good stuff here. But you know what Daredevil's ultimate crime is? Daredevil's ultimate crime is just not having the balls to go the whole way to reboot it, and instead just cleaning up for political purposes the old version of the show. It doesn't have a heartbeat. It doesn't have a point. It's not trying to say shit. It's not art, you know, in my opinion. And look, commercial art is always a funny thing because you have to balance the business responsibilities, the commercialism with the fan fulfillment and the entertainment. Always. But the bottom line is Daredevil is an example of them getting it wrong again. And man, that's just hard. That's hard for me. You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of people say, oh, you're way too harsh, or you're just hater, rage bait, or whatever, right? No, not at all. But I will flame that shit. You know what I mean? Like, if I genuinely see it for that, if that's the way I read the train, I gotta say it, you know, and I can't mince words. Like this from where I wanted to be as a fan to where I am as a fan experiencing the show, my God, what a letdown. Yeah, so that's where we're at with this. Now, like, what does that mean for the future? I have no idea. We got 2 more episodes, and look, they're probably going to be bangers. They're probably going to feel completely different than the rest of the fucking show. And that's cool and fine. Like, I'll take it for what it is, you know? Get a little mad, you know, actually doing some cool Daredevil stuff. I bet the Bullseye shit when he comes back is going to be crazy. Basically, all the new stuff they shot, which they sandwiched around the Goobly Glob, it's probably going to be pretty good, right? Season 2? Seems like they fucking figured it out. Karen back, Foggy probably back. Actual double D's, actual fighting all the time in the episode. Matt's Daredevil the whole time. Okay, cool. But why do I have to wait for season 2? Why did I have to go through this carnival ride of like, hey, like Marvel's like basically like, let's act like these people are stupid as fuck and they don't know that we've been creating dog shit for years and we have a whole bunch of leftover dog shit in the pipeline. We're going to shit it all out in 2025 before we really turn it around next year. And let's just pretend they don't notice. Like, that's... My God. You know? And this is the mild version of it. This is like, I'm still riding with you. But you need to be told how bad this is. Because it's bad. All right? Okay, so now that we've had our discussion about Daredevil Born Again, my God. Okay, so let's look here. So 17% of people in the poll say that they loved it. That's cool. 33% of people say they liked it. So that equals about 50% of people on the positive side. That might seem good, but frankly, that's not really what you want. You want like 80, 90%. These are hardcore fans that are in this stream right now. 40% of people are pretty meh on it. That's the winning amount so far. And then 12% of people hated it. So you got about a coin flip of how the most hardcore fans that there are feeling about it. So that should be just kind of some indication of how divided fans are on the show and the episodes. So there you have it. My thoughts on it. I don't really know what else to say, guys. It's a tough one for me, man. I brought back watch parties for this show. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you can sense that I'm actually way more angry about this, and I would pop the fuck off, but it's not professional. We'll keep it chill. Yeah, no, not a happy Marvel fan based on the Daredevil show. Okay. Let's talk Superman, dude. You know, Superman. We got hope. We got hope out there. Superman. So last night in Las Vegas, Warner Brothers had their turn at CinemaCon. Sony Pictures had Monday night. They announced a bunch of Beyond the Spider-Verse stuff, Spider-Man 4 stuff. Pretty cool. Warner Brothers had a presentation last night. A lot of stuff they went over, a lot of little things, but of course, the big deal, the big kahuna, the big blue, Superman. That's what everybody's talking about. We're going to go over some of the things that were announced last night. There was footage that was shown to everybody. It's something like a sizzler reel, so I don't even know how much dialogue was actually presented, which is kind of unfortunate. There is some dialogue, though. There was a scene at the Fortress of Solitude, some crypto stuff, and the robots in the fortress, etc. We'll go over it all. So I want to talk about the presentation, talk about the buzz, you know, what are fans thinking, how are they feeling about this? Because as we've been reporting, this is a very important movie. I think it's a really hyped up movie, frankly. A lot of people are really excited about Superman. But there's also a lot on the line. You know, a lot of people sort of trepidatious, worried about what Gunn might be doing with the characters. So last night we got the first official reveals about this. Now, what I'll do first is I'll read this little recap here. This is from the hashtag show. It's not super extensive, but it'll sort of set the table for some of the stuff we're about to talk about. So this thing was going over all of the things that happened, right? So it was like Mortal Kombat 2, F1, you know, this, that, second, and the third. Easily one of the most anticipated films of the year, if not the most talked about. Attendees were treated to an introduction of DC Studios by CEO James Gunn and co-CEO Peter Safran. The cast of Superman, which included Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, David Corenswet, took the stage after the introduction to talk about the film. Corenswet said that his and Brosnahan's test scene was about 10 pages dialogue scene from the script. Gunn said he initially took the Suicide Squad over Superman because he knew it better, but then he thought of a good idea for a Superman story later. They all gave props to the actors who took on the roles before them, with Brosnahan saying, "The Titans that have come before us." Cornsweet also called it a great honor to play Superman. Cool. Crypto was inspired by Gunn's dog Azu, which could amount to the sentimental feeling of the pup in the trailer. On the flip side, Gunn also said that the idea came to him in the form of, what if this dog had superpowers? I'd be fucked. Many of us probably feel that way with our pets, so I get it. Yeah, and because we all have been curious, James Gunn stated CinemaCon is much better than Comic-Con. Really? He said that. Well, he's wrong. But, so there you have it. That's kind of like a description of everything that happened. Now, check this out. We're going to watch this here. This is about 7 minutes from the John Campea show. And this was after they all went in and watched Superman.
We saw the odds that Mr. Terrific was in, where we saw a little bit more of the amount of people surrounding him and his power up. I thought that was really cool. I wish he was on stage for All Mankind. If you've ever watched it, he's the best part next to Joel Kinnaman.
He's so good.
In For All Mankind. I wish he was there, but excellent stuff from that sizzle reel. It was expanded views of what we'd already seen, but it brings more context to what we're going to see as a whole in the film. It was great.
Yeah, we got more a little bit more of a look at Lex Luthor. We got more Lois Lane and the Daily Planet.
We got going through like the kaiju, like through the
and all that kind of stuff. Extra extended stuff that, like, again, there was a number of things that were in the trailer that they then in here gave us extended looks at.
And that makes sense, right? So extended looks at what was going on in the trailer. Likely just they're very comfortable with the sections of footage that they have out there, so they don't want to go too much beyond the scope of that. Maybe they've done more visual effects on those aspects too, specifically for the trailers. That can be a thing. So that makes sense.
We got a small part of Superman or Clark Kent sitting with Lois Lane, her beginning the interview.
Yeah.
She goes, "I'm here with Clark." So they have this relationship we saw from.
No, she says, "I'm here with Superman."
But and he says Superman. But they have this relationship.
And that's cool because that's obviously a part in the comics, right?
That part too, babe, because it's like they're just joshing with each other.
What was the exact line? Like she's clearly interviewing Superman, and she goes, "So you've come under fire lately," and he said something like, "Not a lot of fire,
a little bit."
A little bit. She goes, "No, a lot of fire."
And then they cut to the.
By the way, that's from that's the leak. That's what we talked about earlier, yesterday.
Part where that guy throws the can at his head.
Yep.
So we get like that layout of what's going on.
Which also, dude, I don't know if you guys have noticed. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I've noticed, because yesterday, obviously, this was going down. So many of the photos and so many of the tweets sharing stuff about Superman used footage from when they throw the cans at him. And because I know the leaks and everything, like, I could not stop thinking about it. I'm like, dude, does everybody know?
Going on. And I appreciate I can't wait to see this. This is going to be excellent.
This is still my number. Look, everybody already knew Superman is my number one most anticipated movie of the year. It is only just further solidified after what we saw tonight. And clearly they are very excited about this film.
Look, as much as we love Man of Steel, at the
Most
end,
underrated comic book film of all time.
At the end of that movie, it's this apocalyptic nightmare. You know, where how many civilians die? Superman kills Zod. This movie, even if it has all that happen, the tone of it is so different. I mean,
what the hell?
It's going to be fun. It's going to be emotional. You're going to be happy watching this.
Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. I hope Rob gets like a fucking lozenge or something, man. What the hell? He needs a cough drop.
Crypto comes, but that's where they don't show you everything in the trailer.
No.
Okay, so this is apparently a description of the crypto scene that was shown to everybody last night at CinemaCon.
From that scene, because what happens in this extended scene is that Crypto comes, and the first thing Crypto wants to do, and Ann and I have a dog that is just like this in Dune, who we just recently adopted. Our stray dog that we adopted. So Crypto now in the trailer it shows Crypto showing up and Superman going, "Home, take me home," and he grabs the cape and takes him home. No. That's not what happens. What happens is he shows up and he's just all excited to see Superman. So he's jumping around and pounding his paws on him like our dog does in the morning when she wants attention, boom, and biting his foot and dragging him around and like Superman is screaming in agony. And then finally the dog realizes that something is wrong. But the dog I was laughing hysterically.
Oh, everybody was. It was so funny.
And the whole theater was
It was so funny, guys. So funny.
So unexpected.
And it is so true. If you remember the last time we saw Dad smile is when we brought the dogs and they were like jumping on him. He's like, ow, ow, ow. It was it reminded me of that a lot.
Yeah.
And so that was the extended thing. Then he gets them back, and then as Crypto's dragging him off, the camera pans up to see the horizon, and the fucking Fortress of Solitude comes out from the ground.
Oh, wow.
With the crystals and everything, and
Sounds cool.
And then they get to this.
We've seen that a little bit, yeah.
Where
the classic S on the door,
yep,
the right out of
symbol
the
of the House of L shows up right there on the door.
I mean, it's too bad that that now represents a bunch of world-destroying conquerors, but still cool.
And Crypto just, roof, and then the door opens for Crypto. They go in, the robots come in, and I guess they're the housekeepers.
The Superman robots.
And they were hilarious.
They were hilarious.
Who was it?
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk doing the voice of the
Oh,
robot.
okay, that's
butler
cool.
Was hilarious.
Hilarious.
So
I keep hearing that.
Superman, and they come in and they pick him up and they take him to a medical facility in the fortress, and they set him up in this thing where they're going to amplify the sun and put him right in this thing.
And you see that he's got like a broken bone, and he's
his intestines are ruptured and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they put him in this chair, and the robots all start to hold him down.
you see that he's got like a broken bone, and he's
his intestines are ruptured and all this kind of stuff.
That's kind of
So they
interesting.
put him in this chair, and the robots all start to hold him down. It's like, okay, hold him down. And then this door opens so the sun comes in, but then these like 8 magnifying glasses fall into place to magnify the sun.
That's kind of cool.
And then the shot goes exterior as the entire Fortress of Solitude starts to rotate in the snow.
it was so cool
So cool. It was so
Yeah, that sounds cool.
to get to the sun.
Oh,
And then when
And
the
then
sun hits him, it just
It was awesome.
yeah,
But-
they're holding him down.
But how that actually relates to what everyone has seen in the trailer, where he's actually holding one of those robots, it connected for me that part is going to be unbelievably.
Oh yeah, one of the robots died.
Unbelievably
The robots
Yeah.
were killed.
just from that scene we saw his relationship with those robots. That part, when we get to that part, it's going to be incredibly.
Well, the
cinematic.
characterization, those robots are like hysterical
Right.
because they talk about how they want to play with them. They talk about Crypto wanting to play with them, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't care about him."
Well, okay, so
We
the direct line was great because after they cut to another scene where now Superman's back on his feet. He's okay, but he's walking into the Fortress of Solitude. He's like, Crypto, and he realizes Crypto has like wrecked the place
just
because
destroyed it.
giant hole.
James Gunn earlier had told the story about when he adopted this dog.
It sounds so
Ozu.
funny.
He adopted the dog Ozu. It's like the dog would just totally destroy his house. Like just went around and destroyed everything.
Right, its feet.
So he put him bite his feet. So he put that into the movie. So like Superman comes back in the Fortress of Solitude, and like Crypto has like wrecked everything in the Fortress of Solitude. And like it turns to the robot. It's like, I told you to keep an eye on him. He goes, well, we tried to tell him to behave, but then he realized that as a non-sentient robot, we do not care whether he lives or dies. So he stopped paying attention to us. And it was just, and then Superman's trying to leave, and Crypto's biting his feet. And then when he finally is about to leave, but before he takes off, Crypto's been this big pain in the ass, trying to bite his feet, get him to stay. When you realize that Superman's about to leave, Crypto starts to whimper and cry. I'm like, that's our dog. That's our dog.
So that's kind of cool. Look, I'll be honest with you. Not all of that sounds like it's going to perfectly work for me, but it does seem like the enthusiasm is genuine. It seems like a lot of people in the room had a connection with it, and it seemed to work. You know, humor, tone, sensibility, these things are all really interesting to talk about, but it's also one of those things that you will not know how it hits you until you're actually in the theater. You cannot tell somebody exactly how the tone of a movie, like you could summarize it, and if it's really well defined, yeah, it'll probably be pretty close to what that person feels, but it's kind of like an individual experience. And as I was hearing them explain this, right, I was seeing versions of these scenes in my head that like actually work and could be great. Because even within those scenes, I mean, dude, there's so much humor. You can just feel it. I mean, the dog's funny, right? The dog's kind of a gag. The robots are funny. The robots are kind of a gag. The dogs and the robots together are kind of a gag. And if you kind of extrapolate that thinking out into the rest of the movie, it just feels like this sort of adolescent, maybe even infantile, but hopefully not in the way that like James Gunn's other stuff is infantile. Maybe a more innocent, earnest, infantile tone. Could actually totally work, right? So just being like super fair about this whole thing, like this does not make me think, oh, I'm gonna hate this shit. It confirms some of the things that we've been talking about as far as tone, humor, jokes, and that kind of stuff. But it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, it's Jover or nobody's gonna like it. And I think ultimately, like, as we've been describing with the reports from the test screenings, it is one of those things where you're either going to dig it and you're going to like it, and it could be like, here's the thing, it could work out that this is the perfect tone. A lot of things are really dire and serious right now. You know, potentially even Fantastic Four might. It looks like Fantastic Four is very happy-go-lucky and similar to Superman, but I would argue, from what I know, it's going to go a dark way, right? So maybe this kind of a tone is absolutely perfect, like chef's kiss perfect for what audiences are currently craving. And if it is, if the audiences vibe with this tone, then some of the other elements, like the fantasy elements, you know, because Gunn spoke to pocket universes, crazy tech, magic, really wild stuff that's going on there. I love all of that stuff from, I mean, all comics, but especially DC. DC's flavor of that has always been really interesting. So if he can make those elements more palatable via this tone, and it's, you know, sort of soft and gentle and fine, but it connects with people, dude, this could be very successful. You know, I'm just speaking in terms of how this thing will do outside of like my opinion, etc. This presentation, the commentary from John and his people, it does strike me as potentially working, and potentially working in a real big way, man. So we'll see. We shall see. Now, a couple other things here. I want to go over this. This is a written down description of it. Somebody else. This is from THR. So it's one of the same things that John and them were describing. But here we go. A full description of the Superman extended preview that was shown at CinemaCon and will play before the Minecraft movie. That's fascinating. Hey, by the way, are any of you going to go out and see Minecraft this weekend just to take a look at this Superman thing? That would be fascinating. Please record it and then put it on the internet so I don't have to do that. But I'm wondering if that'll actually work, because there could be buzz now based on this, you know, coming out at CinemaCon. Some of this stuff they're doing, it could actually be working, right? Okay. Superman crashes into the snow on the ground. He wheezes and bleeds. Oh boy. He whistles for Crypto. Crypto gleefully jumps all over him, causing more pain. Crypto tries to play. Crypto, take me home, Superman says. Crypto licks his face. Crypto runs circles around him before finally grabbing his cape with his mouth and dragging him across the snow. A fortress rises to the ground, icy formation. The pair go inside. Robots lift Superman and carry him. Superman thanks them. The robots state there is no need to thank us, as we will not understand. I don't know what that means. They examine him in the medical office. They blast him with sunlight, and Superman screams. So, yeah, this is just a different explanation for the same kind of scene that John and them were describing. This sounds cool to me. I mean, there's no way around it, brother. The Fortress of Solitude popping out of the ground, formulating, taking Superman in, robots using the sun to beam like surgery via the sun into Superman to heal him. That shit's fire. No way around it. That is awesome. I am excited for that. So yeah, kind of a interesting turn here with Superman potentially, as far as what the tone might be and how people are responding to it. Now, last couple of things I want to talk about here. One of the things that a lot of people picked up on was Gunn did say yesterday that the pocket universes are a thing. And the reason that's a big deal is because the leak that was out there does mention a pocket dimension that Lex Luthor has, where he keeps people he doesn't like, including ex-girlfriends. And I didn't want to say this yesterday, but I guess I can say it now because it's starting to come out. Yes, that is true. That's one of the other things in the plot leak that's real. And that's that place with the glass that Superman punches out of, right? So there's going to be a pocket dimension. There was mention in the Sizzler reel of like Superman's back, meaning he had been gone. And that's probably due to Luthor putting him in the pocket dimension. Okay, so I don't think all of that. I know for sure not all of that plot leak is real. And some of the more wacky, silly things are probably not in the film. But two things that are in the film: the big retcon of the Kryptonians. They're basically Saiyans from Dragon Ball, the Viltrumites from Invincible. They are planet-conquering, kind of horrible people. And Jor-El himself will be basically a bad guy. And there was going to be a message that Jor-El sends to his son about how he should just take over Earth. And that's going to lead to Earth finding out about it and being really mad at Superman. And there's also a pocket dimension. Now, the thing that's weird about the leaks is a lot of people really don't like the leaks. But again, I think stuff in there that they don't like might not even be in the movie. So I almost wish I could go around all these people talking about the leaks and be like, okay, so how do you feel about just these two elements? Because these two elements are real. Everything else, maybe not. These two elements are real. How do you feel about that? Do you know what I mean? Because for me, even though they're like the one is a really big retcon, I kind of like it, dude. I kind of like it. I think Gunn's cooking with that. I mean, sure, it's totally non-creative. It's completely derivative, not original in any way. But I don't care. It's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it's going to be kind of dope. And the pocket dimension thing, I think that's sick as hell. Like, dude, leaning in to the fantastical elements, the more comic booky elements, I am all about it. I am all about it. So, isn't it a fascinating thing? Because for me, following Superman and kind of like adjusting my personal expectations for the movie, I have found myself on somewhat of a roller coaster ride, right? Frankly, didn't love the first trailer. Really didn't. To this day, don't like it. Don't like the look of it. The tone is fine. Don't like the look of it. I don't like the focus on the dog. There's a lot of stuff I don't like. The tonal thing had me super worried because Guardians of the Galaxy Superman, it was like my biggest concern with Gunn making this film. However, a lot of the stuff we heard from the stuff that was shown last night, that's cool, man. Like, dude, I kind of want to go. I don't want to see Minecraft, but I want to see Superman get the light beamed into him. I want to see the Fortress of Solitude. Guys, am I getting a little hype for Superman all of a sudden? I feel like I'm getting a little hype for Superman, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. What the hell is happening to me? Daredevil's disappointing me. I'm ranting about Marvel, and now I'm excited about James Gunn's Superman. What the I need a vacation, a massage, a night out in the town. I need to go home and rethink my life. Shit. Sounds cool. All right, anyway, that's it. That's Superman. Are we getting excited about Superman? Guys, are you a little bit more excited about Superman right now than you were before we went over all this stuff? Just tell me. Yes or no? Are you a little bit more hyped for Superman after what we... Because to me, the leak... Oh, shit. A lot of no's. A lot of yeses. All right, we got to go to the polls on this. This is crazy. You guys are crazy. Let's go to the polls. Are you more... Are you more excited for Superman now? Put it in the polls. Oh, what a... oh my God, it's 50-50 out the gate. This is crazy. Okay, so we'll let that poll cook, and we'll we'll circle back in a little bit here. Okay. Can we talk about Star Wars for a little bit now? We talk about Star Wars just a little bit here. Just a little bit. Just a little Star Wars talk. So, I was contacted recently by an incredibly reliable source. Gave me a ton of information. I dropped a video yesterday full of spoilers. It's juicy, man. If you want to know what's going on with Ahsoka Season 2, Mandalorian Grogu movie, the future of Star Wars, huge video, tons of information, mind-blowing stuff. Now, I don't want to talk about all those spoilers today, right? So I don't want to get into all that. We'll let that video just kind of percolate and see what happens. But some of the things I can talk about on the stream that aren't incredibly spoilery has to do with the future of Star Wars. You know? I was told a lot of stuff about Ahsoka Season 2. The Ahsoka Season 2 stuff has me hyped. But I have to also live in the world where that's one aspect of Star Wars. And there's so many aspects around it that are questionable and lame to me. And so, you know, I kind of got into a discussion with this source about, like, what is going on over there? This Kathy stuff recently came out. It's a big kerfuffle. And one of the things that my source told me was that Jon Favreau is, like, completely over it. Such a shame, because there were some reports when the Kathleen Kennedy thing came out from Belloni. There were some reports that John would be the one to join Dave and they were going to run Lucasfilm together. 0% chance of that happening. John is done with Star Wars effective immediately after his contract for all this Mando stuff. Apparently, he's just really wants out. Maybe he'll do another season of Mando. Maybe he'll help Dave with his movie. And then I would say he's probably out. Maybe he'll go back to Marvel. I don't really know. But that's kind of a bummer, right? I was like, oh, man, that's kind of a bummer. So then I started to ask about, like, Kathleen Kennedy and stuff, right? As far as I understand it, here's what I can say. Like, Kathy is certainly trying to do things one way. And that way would be she's going to have total puppets take over for her. She's going to continue to linger and produce films for 5 to 6 years and basically soft run the company anyway. And she wants to do a bunch of Rey movie, preserve her own legacy, keep Star Wars intact exactly the way it is. That is absolutely true. She 100% wants to do that. But not everybody over there wants that. And my source told me there is a potential overhaul coming. Okay? Now, what this... Here's what... how do I say this? I actually don't expect a lot of announcements at Star Wars Celebration. Okay? I did before I talked to my source. I was like, dude, they got to go hard, right? Star Wars Celebration, Japan, like, bro, come on. They got to have all the announcements. They're going to have all the panels, all the trailers, everything. Nope. They're going to tell you barely anything. The Ahsoka panel will have the actors come out, answer questions. You'll get a panel for Mando Grogu. Dude, like, next to nothing. There's no updates on the movies, no updates on the other shows. You're getting nothing at Star Wars Celebration. And by the way, if you do get something, it means Kathy won. I gotta be careful how I say this, but my understanding, it's all conjecture, right? My understanding of this is one of the reasons you're not going to get a lot of announcements at Celebration is because there is somewhat of a internal struggle to decide the plans for the future. And there are at least some people over there that want to overhaul everything that is currently being planned. Okay? So, I mean, it's just kind of weird because in some ways it feels like a stagnant situation. I almost want to say this is the reality that's been happening over there for a long time, where like Kathy's just trying to do her thing and just kind of continue her legacy, and other people are trying to do their things and, you know, take Star Wars in whatever direction they feel is best. And so I sort of ended yesterday's video off on this idea, and I wanted to focus on that idea for today. It is that it's not all set in stone right now. And I truly believe that Kathleen Kennedy has been leaking stuff to the press to try to present an idea. And, you know, like, I think for a lot of us, we already know this. Like, you guys are super plugged in. We understand that the Hollywood trades are used by the Hollywood studios and that whole cabal to do all sorts of stuff. And Kathy, being one of the most powerful people in Hollywood, she absolutely handpicks how things are leaked out there. If you followed any of the stuff around Gina Carano, Gina has spoken to how Kathy and her camp literally leaked certain pieces of information out there to try to create counter narratives to make Gina look bad. It's nothing outside of the normal purview of how that town works, but it's important to keep in mind. I say all of that to explain that all of these stories we've been reading about in the trades, for the most part, seem to be pushed out by Kathy and her camp. And I think in some ways it's meant to make people like me give up hope, frankly. And I legitimately believe that the best hope, the best future that Star Wars has is if they completely divorce themselves from Kathy, from the culture she created. I think overhaul is one of the most beautiful words in the English language. And I think when it comes to Star Wars, there's no better word. Overhaul sounds great. Love it. Love the idea. Overhaul, beautiful. Love that word. And I'm hoping that that's what it is. One last element that I will speak to about what I heard, and it has to do with Dave Filoni's movie, the Heir to the Empire movie. The Heir to the Empire movie was described to me as the project fans have been waiting for. Mando and Grogu ain't it. Mando and Grogu sounds fucking terrible. Okay? I went into details about that in the video yesterday. Unless they change things pretty drastically, that movie's going to be a nothing burger. Lame as hell. Not even as cool as the television series. Bold move. But Heir to the Empire, that movie's supposed to be lit. Luke Skywalker, supposed to be in it. Huge role. And a lot of the stuff that Dave's been trying to build is to get to that. And I think they do want to recontextualize, because really, if what I think is happening, it's Heir to the Empire meets Legacy of the Force from like the very end of the Timothy Zahn stuff. And it's like they're going to smash that together and set up some really interesting stuff for the future. So when I think about everything I heard and a lot of the news about Kathy, her extensions, etc., I mean, I think we just have to hope that cooler heads and smarter minds prevail and that Kathy loses this fight and we go completely away from everything that she did with Star Wars. And I think there's a real chance of that happening. You know, I think it was Jeff Snyder who described the situation as if she were removed, it almost wouldn't matter who else took over, because at that point, Disney's going to swoop in. Because Disney has been so frustrated with what Kathy has done to that brand, but they can't, for whatever reason, they cannot hold her accountable or reprimand her or get her to change. I don't fully understand it, but that's the way it's continuously explained and described to me. So if we just get her out of the president's office, the rebels might win. Rebellions are built on hope. And so I just wanted to give that context and sort of, because I know a bunch of Star Wars fans in our community. We watched the video yesterday. Looking forward to hearing your guys' takes, questions, and conversations about it. And look, the main reason why this source even reached out to me was we both love Star Wars. And we want to bring hope back to the fandom, period. So that's what I'm trying to do. And, you know, it's funny timing, of course, because, like, I'm going back to do Nerd Theory, probably a couple months out from that at least. But Theory and I have been talking a good bit, and we're back to working together. And it's just funny that, like, in the middle of that, like, there is actual hope again in the Star Wars fandom. Ahsoka Season 2 sounds incredible to me. Heir of the Empire movie with Dave sounds incredible to me. And I absolutely love Overhaul. And I absolutely love that there are people over there that want to go away from what Kathy is currently doing. And I think there's a chance it'll happen. So I just wanted to kind of, I don't know, expand on what was in the video yesterday and kind of put a little hope out there for you. Star Wars. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You can do it. Put your back into it. All right, let's break into Q&A here, guys. Let's do a little question, do a little answer, do a little talky, and then we'll call it a day. Appreciate y'all for the love, for the support. All right, Joshua says, first in today, Daredevil needs to be reborn yet again. I know. Maybe the next time they create the show, it'll be a lot better. We'll see. Rossi, thank you for the rose, brother. Appreciate you. Star Wars Sith says, somehow Star Wars returned. I know, right? If some of these things are true, which I think they are, Star Wars has a good shot, man. We just have to hope that Kathy doesn't stand in the way. In fact, I wouldn't mind her being pushed out of the way into a tank with sharks that also have lasers on their heads. Braden with a 10 spot, appreciate you, brother, says, what's crazy is that I get more nerdy enjoyment from our community than I have with the actual Marvel nerdy community that's supposed to be excellent in the last couple of years. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, I kind of made the point last night where even though I thought that episode was whack, we actually had a good time. It was funny. My reactions were funny, and we ended up like dude, we laughed so hard when Matt felt the painting, and then it was like, it feels like her face. We all just laughed at that shit. So, like, I mean, I don't want it to go this way, Marvel. Like, I would love it if y'all, like, started actually making good shit and we got back to, like, actually all enjoying it together. But, like, we're going to have a good-ass time either way, you know? And I don't want it to go this way. But either way it goes, we're going to keep doing our thing over here, and we're going to keep having fun. So, it is what it is. Chris says, I took 3 months of karate in middle school. Gonna be a vigilante now. Oh, dude, was it Taekwondo, Dad? Was it Taekwondo, Dad? Can you imagine? Shalami Leaner says, after this, Marvel is about to be like Star Wars for me. I am losing hope. You know, it's just really hard. Like, this is another thing, man. It's really hard for me to look at that statement and look at that attitude from people and try to rebuke it at all. You know what I mean? I've been in more optimistic places where I'm like, no, like this, that, second, and the third. I'm kind of at a place now where I'm like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Jonathan Gray says, theory, Tony was a variant of Doom, so he dreamwalks into his body with sorcery to fool 616, and he takes over the body. Like when he dies. Like Wiki did? Yeah, I don't think so. I have thought about that. I do think dreamwalking is a possibility, but I don't think they're going to do anything like that. That'd be pretty wild. Tony's hand, skeleton hand, pops out of the grave. I don't know, man. A. Marcellus says, Campia, the same guy that will delete your comment or ignore your super chats if you don't share his opinions. And he brags about being a man. Here's the thing. Those are my favorite aspects of John Campia. The most relatable things about Campia to me, and the reason I like him so much, is because he doesn't deal with your ass. Respect. And ignoring comments, ignoring super chats, love it. Huge W Campia. In fact, I don't think we have any more super chats today. We're going to call it there. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just kidding, but I'm kind of not kidding. Zach says, I can get excited about Superman if Crypto was the only goofy thing, but we have to deal with Guy Gardner too. I just don't know, fam. That's absolutely fair, man. That is absolutely fair. And I'm a little worried too. You know, it's like, I mean, it's supposed to be pretty funny. It's supposed to be a pretty funny movie. Hopefully it's ha-ha funny and not ha. Digital Limbic System, interesting name, says new Daredevil was genuinely terrible. Why bring Daredevil back for this slop? I'm so disappointed. Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I completely agree with you, son. I don't got nothing good to say about it. CTMZ gifting 5 memberships. Holy brother, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That ain't cheap. Shockwaves Lab with a 5-spot says, according to Chris Gore, he was told by his friend who saw Superman said the Justice League members aren't in the movie that much, mainly only in the first act. Okay, sure. That makes sense to me. I'm not really worried about that either way, but yeah, that's cool. Appreciate the super chat, man. Thanks for keeping us updated. Hugh says, since season 2 of Mando, Disney just can't do TV. This show has declined every episode. That was really bad in my opinion. Def, so many reshoots, bad acting. I have nothing good to say about the episode last night. I'm incredibly frustrated with the process of covering this show, with the marketing and promotion of the show, with the quality of the show. Thumbs down the entire way. Trev says, Superman Birthright by Mark Waid in 2004 misrepresented the Kryptonians as an aggressive conquering race. It was Lex all along, just saying. Maybe. Hey, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I'm open to it. Hey, look, Trev, we're Superman fans over here. You know what I mean? After last night's episode of Daredevil Born Again, I'm getting a Superman hat. I'm getting a Superman shirt. I'm going to paint my dogs white and get red capes. I'm all in, baby. I'm all in, man. If Superman's good, you have to dye your hair like James Gunn. Hell yeah. Every hair on my body will be hand-painted white if I like it. Nerds Engaged says, how does Tony/Doom not tarnish the legacy of Iron Man? I guess we're going to have to see, brother. Super Vash with a $20 holla. That ain't cheap. Says, I think Superman will be good. However, I don't like the pocket dimension stuff. I think that's crazy. I also feel that Superman sounds too comedic. Superman should be serious. Look at Man of Steel. What are your thoughts? Nah. Pocket dimensions are dope. That's a super DC thing. And Superman's actually, maybe since the 60s, been somewhat cosmic and multiversal. Like, even in, like, those strips, there's all sorts of crazy stuff back in the day with Superman. Him meeting people throughout time. They touch on some of the stuff in All-Star, too. Yeah, no, I think all that works. I am a bit worried about the comedic tone, not because like a light-hearted comedic thing, infantile and innocent, works for Superman. Gunn, his sensibility, that's not quite that. But if he could adjust his sensibility to be a little bit more like that, it might work. So I'm actually not that negative on this. I am, of course, worried about the tone and the humor, for sure. But no, like I don't agree that pocket dimensions are too crazy. Superman should be serious. Nah, there can be lightheartedness in Superman, 100%. We'll see. Grant says, this Daredevil Born Again slander is so irritating. Might not be perfect, but it's not a damn She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Agatha, etc. I am sorry. Here's what I'll say to you, Grant. I know what it's like to like something, and then everybody just shits on it when you say you like it. And that's not a fun experience, right? So that's like me and Warhammer, you know. But the difference is, Warhammer's awesome and everybody's realizing it. Born Again is not. You're going to realize it soon. But it's okay. Hey, have your fun. You know what I mean? Have your fun. It's all good. But that shit is ass. Terrible. It's not even up to standards of like just basic levels of competent production. And I'm sick of acting like it is. What the fuck are we doing here? What? This ain't it. All right. Anybody else? Any other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? Some of you really like the Daredevil show? I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. Dare I say it, enjoying Penguin makes so much more sense to me than actually liking this Daredevil show. I cannot believe people like this Daredevil show. Callisto says, hey Josh, Adam loves orcs, savage, warlike, and ability to manifest their beliefs. Is it wrong that I kind of think it makes sense he's a fan? Huh? Adam loves orcs. Is it wrong that I kind of think it makes sense he's a fan? No, I mean, I might be missing the context of your question, but no, that all tracks to me. That all tracks. So no more watch parties? No, we got 2 weeks left. We're going to finish it out. I think I'll like the last 2 episodes better. Yeah. You just hate watching it? No, I mean, I hate the feeling I get after I've watched it. I don't know that I hate watching it. Yeah, I'm not like a hate watcher, if that's what you're saying. Andor watch party? Hell no, brother. Hell no. No way. Even if I was excited for that show, I wouldn't do watch parties. They're dropping 3 episodes a week, dude. Andor's over in a month. $700 million, 2 years of waiting, and it's over in a month because they're dropping 3 a week, bro, for 4 weeks straight. Crazy. Crazy. How are people even going to cover that? New Star Wars trailer? About what? Tales of the Underworld? Ooh. Is it going to be like Tales of the Empire, though? Because Tales of the Empire sucked ass. Let's watch this.
Just do as I say. Never can be too cautious with strangers out here. Then again, you're no stranger. Lady Ventress.
Nice.
We got a problem here. Just saw him right in.
On May the 4th. Ooh, Cad Bane.
What's the situation?
Cool.
He was your best friend. Things have changed.
You took everything from me.
Who?
I like the
are
music.
I was Count Dooku's lead assassin.
I usually don't like non-Star Warsy music, but this is probably because it's the Kiner bros. Cool.
Bane? No one needs to die.
Get them.
Ooh.
You're gonna pay for what you did.
This revenge, I hope it was worth it.
It will be.
Nice, dude. Hey, that looked pretty cool. I mean, I have been fooled before. You know, even the trailers for Tales of the Empire looked pretty good. So we'll see, because Tales of the Empire was IS. But Tales of the Jedi is one of the coolest things they've ever done. That was incredible. So if they can replicate that energy here, let's go. Man, Dave Filoni, man, he's just trying so hard over there despite everything that's happening. He's just like, but what if we just like made good Star Wars? You know what I mean? Like, this shit is wild to me. Wow. Fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. Fascinating. Thanks to whoever brought that up. That was cool. Josh, does this make your scoop that it's wrong about Maul? No. I mean, that animated series is coming, the Maul series. Obviously, this one's ready to go, and I didn't know about this, but that is cool. I'm excited. Looks good. Yeah. So if it can be good, I mean, look, I'm always down to check something out on May the 4th, you know, remember the nostalgia. Star Wars, man. Remember when we would all be literally excited to spend our money on May the 4th? We'd literally like save up money and be like, dude, May the 4th, can't wait for the deals. Let's get some Star Wars, baby. And these days we're like, May the 4th, I guess I'll do something Star Wars. You know? Wild. Wild. Yeah. All right, any other thoughts, questions, comments, guys? I know it's a little bit of a shorter stream, not a ton going on. But yeah, we you know, there's some cool stuff out there. Wanted to give some context. We will be playing some Marvel Rivals tonight. I would expect maybe some other big news to drop this week too. We'll see. CinemaCon rip roaring throughout the rest of the week for show. Yo. Even my normie friends can't wait for Tuesday night. Daredevil slaps. Well, you know what? Frankly, man, it's cool that people like it, and I'm glad that there are people that are excited about the show. But there are also groups of fans that think it's not good enough and want to hold Marvel to a higher standard. And so that's all I'm trying to do. I'm the voice of not only my own feelings and opinions on the show, but others as well. I mean, when we did the poll, guys, and we have an audience that is completely primed to be very positive on this stuff. This is the den of nerds. This isn't the den of accountants. This isn't the den of tennis players. This isn't the den of dentists. It's the den of nerds. This is the group that is the most primed to like this shit. And when I asked people how they felt about it, 50% of people were on the negative side of it. So you cannot act like because you like it or your friends like it, that it's not dividing the audience. Because it is. I would prefer, I mean, and I've said this before, I used to have to say this all the time to the Star Wars fans, and they, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Star Wars fans, right? Because they're ridiculous. But I'll say it to you Marvel fans. Maybe it's not too far gone yet. Okay? I used to say to Star Wars fans, okay, so maybe you like this show, but wouldn't it be crazy if there was a version of the show that you liked and all of these other people liked it? And wouldn't that be a better experience for the entire fandom if there was a version of this show that not just you, but a lot of fans really, really liked it? And wouldn't it be better for the fandom overall if more of the content was like that? Don't you see? Don't you see? Star Wars didn't do that. They went in the opposite direction. Maybe they can fix it and clean it up. Marvel's heading in that direction, man. Firmly place me in the camp of not liking and not appreciating Daredevil Born Again Season 1. That's okay. It's all right. We can feel differently about these things. Yeah, I know. They need normies for views, though. Yeah, of course. I mean, normies kind of make it all happen. You know, very important piece of the whole puzzle. For sure. For sure. All right, let me see what else is going on here. Oh, thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a pretty decent video, huh? The studio on Apple TV. Yeah, I keep seeing the previews for it. Looks kind of good. Looks kind of good. It's crazy how I can't even remotely empathize with anyone who genuinely thinks they're producing good things. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you don't have to necessarily empathize with them on that, but at the end of the day, I can at least empathize insofar as like I know what it's like to like something and then try to like share that and then hear people talking bad on it. But again, like here's the thing that's like human. If you understand human psychology, you understand a lot of this, because the thing that's weird about it is ultimately it's like, in my opinion, it's really more of the studio's fault. They ultimately hold the most control over how the product comes out, right? And so it's like the studio's ultimately the most responsible. They create the content that then divides the fan base. And it feels like part of the fan base just gets mad at the other part of the fan base for rejecting something instead of properly directing that negative energy to the people that controlled the actual product. And again, it comes from that mindset of like, oh, well, I like this, the other people must be wrong. But it really should be more like, hey, could there be a version of this that I really liked and that they liked too? And wouldn't that be a better experience? And then it's like, who's responsible for that? Oh, that's right, the fucking studio. It's the studio. It's them. You know? So I think, and I also tried to get Star Wars fans to see this too. They didn't see it. They're ridiculous. But Marvel fans should try to do that. You know, toxic positivity, which is to say, I don't just like this thing, but I'm going to be toxic about my positivity towards it, which would be like undermining, undercutting people that have criticisms of it, trying to tell people that don't like it that they're wrong, toxic, bad, or whatever, right? That is what destroyed the Star Wars fandom. And I would urge Marvel fans to not be like Star Wars fans. Please don't. Right? So we should be able to recognize that, hey, look, if I wanted to join the grifting crew, I could have done that years ago. And frankly, I'd probably be really good at it. I'm actually on your side. I want Marvel to succeed. I want Star Wars to succeed. I actually enjoy making content about good Star Wars and Marvel shows and movies. I enjoy getting really excited about Comic-Con and the announcements and the hype and the potential. I'm actually on your side. If you don't realize that, you're the problem. You will be the person that destroys the fandom, just like all of the toxic positive fans destroy the Star Wars fandom. That's what it is, man. You don't have to believe me. Just watch. Just watch. Great Star Wars video, Josh. Gave me a little hope. Appreciate what you do. Are you excited for any of the Nintendo stuff? Actually, the Nintendo stuff looks great. Holy, I can't believe it. Switch 2 looks sick. The online ability looks sick. I like the game share function. Mario Kart looks great. Yeah. GameCube Online. A lot of cool stuff. Nintendo cooked today. Nintendo charging $80 for new games. That's absurd. That's absurd. Hopefully there's some pressure in the market that pushes that down. Because that's crazy. No game should cost that. Literally. Zero game. I mean, especially, and some of you guys are like, oh, I can't fucking believe it. He's going to say AI again. Don't you love human beings? Don't you love not paying $90 fucking dollars for a video game? No reason to. AI should smash that price. Smash it. But anyway. Interesting times out there in the world, you know? A lot of cool stuff happening. We are on the precipice of an unbelievable change. Unbelievable change. And it'll probably happen while you're taking a nap. And you'll wake up and the world will be completely unrecognizable. That's almost what I think every time I close my eyes. It is actually possible that I wake up in an unrecognizable world. That's how fast technology is changing. It's wild. You know, by the time Secret Wars comes out, people will be able to make Secret Wars quality movies, indistinguishable in at least the visual fidelity sense. That technology will be here before this movie comes out. Fascinating, man. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for listening to me yap, getting filled in on all the news, information, giving you some context about the Star Wars stuff. I really appreciate it. Much love. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Generic last minute super chat? Oh, thanks, bud. Appreciate you. Oh man, that's nice, you know? Honestly, super light news day. I was like, oh man, should I even stream? But I was like, you know what? I think the people would really appreciate it if I got on there anyway and just shit on Daredevil a little bit. You know, I think people would be really grateful, you know? Could help out their morning at work, their commute, whatever, and just get in here and just... So, thank you. Much love. Appreciate y'all. Would you do me a favor? Would you just go out and try to have a good day, you know? Would you just go out and try to have a couple smiles, man? Gratitude is such a powerful, powerful thing, man. Get out there. Just open your eyes at some point today. Look around and just say, you know... this is a gift. And I am grateful for all of this that is in front of me. I appreciate you. I will see you later on. Remember to open up your third eye and watch out That stinky, stinky butthole.